Tesla stock is officially a buy. I'm going to tell you exactly why, from a technical perspective, Tesla is a buy. Let's take a look at the chart right here. Since November 2021, where Tesla did its all-time high at $400 or so, Tesla has been going down. It has been going down for close to 3 years. So when a stock is going down, we need to know that it's going down. We should not buy long-term. We can catch a little bit of upswings, but we should not buy long-term because it is supposed to go down. This is what the trend is showing us. Since July of this year, Tesla started to break outside of this downward channel. This is what we call this, a downward channel that's going down. This is a downtrend. Since July of this year, we started going higher and breaking outside of this downward channel. Breaking outside, we break outside. This time, once we broke outside, and we did not get back in the downward channel. So we just sat above it. And because of the earnings call that happened on Wednesday, which was very good, this has convinced a bunch of people, a bunch of buyers to get into Tesla stock. And we have officially pushed back the sellers. We pushed back the sellers yesterday on Thursday, but we could not push them back above 265.32 right here. 265.32. Why is it an important number? Because it was an important number in the past. Buyers could not push Tesla above 265.32 when we tried in July of this year. When we also tried in December of last year. Also, we tried in October of last year. We could never break above that number. So in people's mind, that stock was not worth that price. It was worth a lower price. But now what we are seeing today, we are closing today above 265.32 for the first time in close to a year. So this is a significant change in trend. This is a change in trend. Now, if you are looking for a Porsche 928 and you see that the prices pretty much stay at the same level, but then suddenly you start seeing cars that are selling at a higher and higher price. So you start to see that the trend is changing, that the car is increasing in value. This is what's happening right now. This is what is happening. So we have closed above 265.32. This is a signal. This is a signal that is telling us that the buyers are now in power, so to speak. They are pushing away the sellers, which were able to maintain the price lower than 265.32. So now there's an imbalance in the market. There's an imbalance in the stock market in favor of the buyers. The buyers are too strong for the sellers. This is why the price is increasing. So in technical analysis, this is what we call a buy signal. And of course, you don't need to buy if you don't want to buy. But the concept in technical analysis is that when we breach a frontier, we should ride the trend. Follow the trend. The trend is your friend. Follow the trend and ride it out. At the same time, we were into a bullish channel since April of this year. So what makes this break at 265.32 important also is that we did not just come there one day. We have been starting lower and lower and starting to accumulate it. So buyers had to buy Tesla share at a higher price since June. This is another trend. The price was moving higher and higher and higher. So this makes this close above 265.32 all the more valid because it's not something that happened like this one day out of the blue. This has been building up since the month of May. And if we go on the weekly chart, which is giving us a zoomed out view, we have a head and shoulder pattern. We had the head and shoulder, which is inverted. We had the head and shoulder pattern right here, and we just break the neckline, boom, going up. This is a breakup structure in the market. Now, let's not forget that the base price for Tesla aligns with this support right here. So just like we did in June, where we went higher, came back down right smack on this line, went higher a little bit in August, came back down, went higher, came back down, went higher, and for a brief moment, we went outside of it. What can happen next week or in the following weeks? If we continue to go higher, it's possible that we come back down to that support. And we don't know exactly when or how often, but this is something that could be expected. It could also be expected that we move down on Monday, right back down to that support. We should be ready for everything. If it just moves higher and never goes down, this is going to be super easy because we won't have to make any decisions. But if it starts going the other way, then we need to make a decision. We need to decide, am I going to suffer the move down if we have a move down until we break this support right here? So if you want to enter on Monday morning, let's say at $270, and then we have a pullback down to 250, you need to decide for yourself if you are willing to suffer the move back down and then hope that it really bounces on that support and comes back eventually. Or if you want to play it a little bit more precise, you can decide, well, and then let's go on the 1 hour chart. You could decide, well, I'm going to suffer it until 260.25. We have some resistance in the past at 260.25. You could decide, well, okay, I'm going to get in, but I'm going to suffer a pullback up to that point. If it goes lower, I'm going to get out, let it cool down, and then pick it back up when we get back into the 260.25. This is personally my preferred way of doing it. It doesn't cost much to get in and get out of a stock. The commissions are so low that it does not matter much. But to each his own, there are so many ways to make money on the stock market. So you make your own decisions, based on your financial situation and based on the amount of money that you put in that stock. If you put 500,000, well, maybe that drop between 270 and 250 is too big of an amount for you to bear. This is your own decision, but just know that it is possible that we have a pullback at some point. It might not be on Monday. I am kind of talking the worst case scenario. Hopefully, this won't happen. What is interesting behind this move is that we have reasons. We can understand why Tesla is moving because we had an earnings call not too long ago. Sometimes when we get a buy signal in technical analysis, we don't understand why there is a move. We don't understand it. We don't need to understand it, but when we have somewhat of an understanding, this can help us emotionally get into a stock. This is a luxury that we have right now, but this is not what we had in the past. I often come back to this example right here. April 7, 2020. This is when we had the COVID, and so the whole world was shutting down. Tesla stock went from, this is a post split number, from $60 to $36. So it was cut in half. But then it started to show us a buy signal. It broke above a downward resistance. It broke above a horizontal resistance. Stochastic was over 60. This was a buy right there. But there was no reason in the world to buy this. The world was shutting down. So a company selling cars to people that are locked down in their houses made no sense. What we did not know at the time is that the Federal Reserve was pumping money into the economy and people were buying stocks with it. So we did not know it at the time. We only knew that, okay, the stock is making a top right here at 36.29. It's making a top. And now it's breaking that top. And before breaking that top, it is making higher lows. And at the same time, it has a top. And now it's breaking it. So the stock went from 30 some bucks up to $400. That's more than 10x. So we are always applying the same principle. We had we had the top right here. We could not break this 265.32. We could not break it. While at the same time, we were making higher lows, and now, boom, we have the break right here. There's always risk in the stock market. We could be getting into World War III, and on Monday, things are going to crash. It's always possible. It is always possible. But right now, so far, the buyers want to buy Tesla shares so much that they are pushing the price higher and higher because they want the stock. They want to get into the action, and there are not enough sellers to satisfy the buyers at 265 and 32. So the price is going higher. This is the current rate of ascent of the stock. We can be predicting that in January, if the trend is maintained, Tesla stock should be at $313. This is where it should be in January. And if the trend continues at the same pace, we should be hitting $360 in March of next year, 360. And we could be hitting $415 in June of 2025. This is the approximation that we can make. I cannot predict that this is going to happen, but if we extrapolate the current trend, which started in April, this is where we are going. And those trends that I'm drawing last for a long time. If I come back to this buy signal right here in April of 2020, this line, this support line, lasted from April of 2020 up to February of 2022. So it lasted almost 2 years. These lines are not short-term. We have some short-term lines, but we have some longer-term lines. So this is looking super interesting. You do your own research, you make your own decisions. Let's take a look at the rest of the market. VIX is climbing higher. This is, of course, not good news. VIX is up 6%, 1.25. When the VIX is going higher, the stock market tends to go lower. Not every stock is impacted the same way at the same time, but this is a general principle. So we also need to keep an eye on this. We don't like when the VIX is going too high. We have made a few highs recently at 22.39. We are keeping a watch on this. The VIX is making higher lows. We don't like this, and it is also making a top at the same time. So yes, we could be reaching back to this resistance right here and cooling down. If we break it, then it's going to become very dangerous. So we are keeping a watch on this every single day. Dow Jones, we have a little bit of weakening in Dow Jones. We are down 0.61%. Stochastic is lower than 60. Stochastic is showing us the strength in the current move, and there is no strength right now. There's absolutely no strength right now. The Dow Jones has been falling for the past 6-7 days, and we are getting back to a congestion zone that we call, which is just a movement sideways. So we are still bullish overall with Dow Jones. So this is a temporary move down, but the overall trend is still intact. But we are going to keep a watch on this anyway. S&P 500, we are outside of our bullish channel right here. I would have preferred that we had stayed inside, but we are still above our moving average, and the moving average is still going a little bit higher. And stochastic is still above 60. So Dow Jones is not looking as good as S&P 500. And in terms of NASDAQ, we had a nice way up today, and we are getting close to some resistance right here. So the big test is going to come when we are going to get close to it to see if we cave onto it or if we break it. So there you have it. We have reached a milestone in Tesla stock, and we wish that it continues like this next week. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you like what I do, you can become a YouTube member. Click on my TradingView affiliate link. I'm going to wish you a great weekend. We are going to talk on Monday, unless you are a member at the community level, in which case you can attend my Tesla Weekly Live, where we do a weekly recap of what happened and also a weekly outlook for the week to come. So have a great weekend, and I'm going to tell you à la prochaine.